Hollywood and the four corners of the world. You asked for it. Starring Rich Little. Here's the star of You Asked For It, Rich Little.
Thank you and welcome to the only show on television that goes anywhere in the world just because you asked for it. Tonight, Jerry, the astonishing household chimp, an amazing discovery in the Amazon, bottling the SS United States. But first, did you ever try picking up a chair with one hand and holding it away from your body? Now, if you think that's tough, imagine the strength and daring it takes to lift a weighted, razor-sharp axe with one hand and then slowly lower the edge towards your forehead. This is one of the death-risking feats of Slim the Hammerman, whose specialty is wielding bone-crushed axes and hammers. Well, we sent our cameras to Slim's home in Potsdam, Pennsylvania, and Jack Smith catches him in action because Scott Ham, a neighbor of Slim's, you asked for it.
Slim's story starts here in a rock quarry outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 25 years ago, Slim, otherwise known as Larry Farman to his family, was cutting stone with sledgehammers that helped make this hole the 30 stories deep that it is. And Slim, still tall and muscular at nearly 50 years of age, has risen through the ranks to quarry supervisor. It was here, years ago, that someone first challenged him to lift a sledgehammer while holding it parallel to the ground and away from his body. Well, he's perfected the stunt so that it's virtually an art form now. Come sunset, Slim arrives home from work, heads straight for his small makeshift gymnasium located in what was once his two-car garage. Inside, the decor is a bit unusual. Hundreds of iron bars that Slim has bent in moments of incredible strength. He trains religiously every night from 7 to 11. This particular night, Slim has agreed to perform a series of unbelievable feats of strength never before seen on national television. He's going to start with a razor-sharp, chrome-plated axe weighing 20 pounds. He'll lift it high in the air and then gently drop the blade to his forehead. Slim will attempt this feat, as he does with all his stunts, by using mind control. For him, strength of mind is more important than strength of body.
I decide what I think I want to do. If I cannot come up with a reason why I cannot do them, then I have to assume that I can do them.
He did it! A real test of power. Well, before his next set of stunts, Slim psychs himself up by doing some isometrics. Much of his strongman success, he says, has been inspired by the life of an old strongman named the Mighty Atom. Slim is really pumped up. He's ready for his next feat. He places a set of chains at his feet and begins wrapping his waist and his wrists and his chest with chains strong enough to pull a car. He begins to pull. He'll break 2 chains attached to his waist and a pair attached to each wrist. And now, by just expanding his chest, Slim should be able to break the last chain. Success! Well, now for his finale, Slim opens his custom-made felt line case and removes his 2 most beloved hammers. One of them he's had since cutting stone at the quarry. Amazingly, he begins to add even more weight to the hammerheads. 56 pounds rest at the ends of these 31-inch handles. What Slim will first do is lift the heads off their pad while holding the handles stationary. Now, it looks deceptively simple, but not even Mr. America can do this stunt. Slim's hands serve as the lever in this situation, which give him virtually no mechanical advantage. When he lifts this 56 pounds, he'll be exerting 1,736 inch-pounds of torque on his wrists.
My hammers are so close to me. I had them before I had my wife, my children. I intend to hold on to them. I intend to have my hammers buried with me.
And he's done it. A remarkable feat of strength. And we saw it because you asked for it.
Listen, I wouldn't recommend that anybody in our audience try that. I mean, if you want to go ahead and lose your head, may I suggest you do it over candlelight and wine with a pretty girl. And if that doesn't work out, then go for the axe. Coming up next, a secret you've always wanted to know. We'll be back.
And now back to Rich Little.
Have you ever wondered how they get a ship into a bottle? Well, this is the Mayflower, one of the many minutely scaled-down ships created by a world-famous model builder. But how did he manage to get it through the neck of the bottle? Well, he did it without the help of a genie. And you're going to find that out right now because Thomas Ubish of Claremont, California, you asked for it.
How does the model ship get inside the bottle? Well, there are very few people left who know. One of them is Vic Crosby, a retired seaman who has been bottling ships for half a century. Vic has made somewhere between 300 and 500 models and put them in bottles and other containers.
About 1830 or 40 there, when the whaling days started, those fellows had a lot of time at sea. They would make a bottle and give it to a girlfriend or something, or trade it for a drink in a bar. And I was fascinated by it and started in.
Actually, Vic is going the old-timers one better. His ships go in the bottle piece by piece. He carves his hulls, and then he saws them in half to be reassembled in the bottle. The original method, perfected by 19th century sailors, required a very slim hull to slip through the bottleneck. The sails were folded and worked through the neck slowly. When everything was safely inside, the model maker would pull the attached strings and the ship would pop into place. Vic not only immerses himself in his work, he surrounds himself in it. At least 100 models decorate his home. Each model takes anywhere from 100 to 200 hours, and Vic is hard-pressed to put a dollar value on them. He's never had to. He gives them away.
I don't think there's any money to be made when you say you put 100 and some hours into, and the guy offers you 10, 20 bucks, you might as well give it to him.
Those models that aren't given to friends are donated to maritime museums, such as the one in San Diego. The star of the display is the Star of India, the last of the tall ships on the west coast. The real Star of India serves as part of the museum. Built in 1863, it's the oldest merchant marine sailor still afloat. Vic studies the big ones so that he can build the little ones.
It's hard to make a model just from pictures. As a rule, most of these models, the historic ones, there are blueprints available. You can get better detail like the handrails and the lifeboats and the bits and the caulks, the hawse pipes. It takes longer this way, but I'm satisfied with the work better the way I do it.
Since modern-day sailors have more forms of recreation available to them, not many are sitting around putting ships in bottles. Vic says the art is ailing, but not quite dead.
In the United States and Canada, there are very few of us. Maybe 7 or 8 is all. There's a club called the Compass Club in Paris that I belong to, and there are about 60 or 70 members there in Europe that are keeping this up. Rich, we're both copiers. You can't give me an impression, but I can give you a ship. Not because you asked for it, just as a surprise.
Oh, this is Dean Martin. Yeah, my brother and I used to be in the boat and bottle business, yeah, but we went broke. Yeah, I was emptying the bottles faster than my brother could build the boat. Vic, that impression was for you, and not because you asked for it, but just as a surprise. And now here's another surprise. A family with the world's most unusual child. And here to tell you about it is Jack Smith.
Thanks, Rich. Back in 1953, we were lucky enough to hear about the 5-year-old son of Mr. and Mrs. Jack Dutton. After their daughter married and moved away, the Duttons had the need to care for someone again. So they adopted Jerry. And under their teaching and love, Jerry, nearly unmanageable at first, was soon behaving like any normal kid his age in the neighborhood. Now, that may not sound so phenomenal, but you see, Jerry was a chimpanzee. So tag along now with us to the Dutton home in Anaheim, California, for a romp with this chimp that was raised like a child. And see if you don't agree that he's a 20th century wonder. 1010 Orange Thorpe Avenue, Anaheim. In this picturesque California home live Mr. and Mrs. Jack C. Dutton and their famous 5-year-old son, Jerry. After you meet Jerry, I'm sure you'll agree that he's one of the most unusual animals of the 20th century. And if you don't mind, let's just tag along and romp through the day with Jerry. Jerry can take a hose off any spigot and attach it to another one, the same as you and I. Let's see now, better test the water to see if it's okay. Yep, it's all right. Turn it on. Can you squirt it with your thumb? You betcha. You know, Jerry's really like lots of kids. Work can become boring all too soon, but with so much of life new and exciting, who can blame him for monkeying around a little? He's quite a marvelous carpenter, at least in his own mind. One thing's for sure, he needs supervision at all times. No telling what might happen. Oh yes, there's the pruning job. Lucky there's no Tarzan around or he'd be cut down. Jerry can actually saw a 3 or 4 inch limb. Let's see now. What can I do next? Oh, about 300 or 400 palm trees have to be planted. Now, he may look cute to you, but Jerry will work right along with any of the workmen. He'll go down and dig 8 or 9 feet. A most remarkable chap. I mean chimp. Supper time. Here he comes. Not the best of table manners, but he does have all the enthusiasm in the world. A fork, of course. Oh, let's see. Let's try that salad. Slice of, whoops. Yes, a well-rounded diet will make Jerry a big boy, all right. Well, not too big, or he'll end up in the zoo. A little, that's a girl. Now the beverage. Just a half cup, please. Sugar? 2 spoonfuls.
Heaping spoonfuls, that is. He likes it. He should advertise this brand on television. Well, sweet dreams. You're a mighty bright little fellow, and the Dutton family has done an incredible job with such a little jungle boy. You asked for it.
That's really something, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
You know, after watching Jerry, you can be sure I'm never again going to say, don't make a monkey out of yourself.
Neither will I, but then any friend of Ronald Reagan's is a friend of mine, Jack.
What do you mean?
Well, Bonzo. You know, Bonzo Goes to College, the movie Ronald Reagan made.
Of course.
That's your era.
True.
Mine, too. But you might say, well, I'll be a monkey's uncle when you see what's coming up next. An unbelievable discovery in the middle of the dangerous Amazon. We'll be right back.
And now back to Rich Little.
The Amazon, a place of dangerous beauty, of man-eating crocodiles and head-hunting Indians. But believe it or not, in the midst of all this, we discovered one of the oldest and finest opera houses in the world. Our reporter, Georgetta Ruba, was sent to Manaus, Brazil, to check out the Theater Amazon, which not long ago had hosted Europe's most glittering musical stars. Because Sarah Sack of Brooklyn, New York, you asked for it.
Rich, the jungle of Brazil is probably the last place you'd expect to find an unusual theater. But in the middle of the jungle, we find the city of Manaus. And in the middle of Manaus, the magnificent Teatro Amazona, Theater of the Amazons. This exquisite theater was constructed at the turn of the century when the rubber boom made Manaus Brazil's wealthiest city. The legendary Caruso sang on this stage, as did many of the most famous stars of the day. And so, it would be an honor for anyone to get the chance to do the same. Living was not always so slow and easy in the perpetual summertime you find in Manaus. This was once a very busy city. When the theater was finished in 1896, this tropical town had been turned into a showpiece for European culture. The theater is a product of a time when people had money to spend, when the wealth of the rubber market supported a vigorous trade in hard currencies, diamonds and gold. Inside the theater, wealth is turned into ornate beauty, ironwork from Scotland, chandeliers from Italy, a painted ceiling from France, all of it hauled up the river and assembled for the entertainment of the rich. When the rubber boom collapsed after 1910, the wealth of Manaus evaporated, and the city today is a far cry from what it used to be. Teatro Amazonas is still in use for modern performances, but in our brief engagement, we perform for the ghosts of the past. Teatro Amazonas is a beautiful monument to a time when wealth and splendor made a brief visit into the heart of the jungle. A most unusual theater. We've reserved a seat here because you asked for it.
This is George Burns. You know, I've been going to that opera for a long, long time. In fact, I can remember when Madame Butterfly was just a cocoon.
Rich will be back in a minute with more. And now back to Rich Little.
That's our show for tonight. See you next time on... Good night, everybody.
This is John Harlan speaking. You Asked For It is a Sandy Frank production.